Hello everybody, how are you all? Welcome to my channel. This is Riddhika Asthana. In today's video, we are going to have a discussion about a little poem, The Fog, which is written by Carl Sandburg. He was born in 1878 in Galesburg and died in the year 1967. Carl August Sandburg was a well-known American poet, writer, biographer, journalist, and editor. He was widely regarded as a major figure in contemporary literature. He has won 3 Pulitzer Prizes, 2 for his poetry, named as The Complete Poems of Carl Sandburg and Cornhuskers, and 1 for the biography written about Abraham Lincoln. He began his writing career as a journalist for the Chicago Daily News. The Fog is probably Carl Sandburg's best-known poem and has been a popular choice for study since it was first published in Chicago Poems in 1916. The Fog is the shortest poem that has strong reflections. In the poem Fog, Sandburg has put in hardly 25 words, but yet the poem does have a deeper and strong meaning. To understand the full poem, let's read it out first. The fog comes on little cat feet. It sits looking over the harbor and city, on silent haunches, and then moves on. The fog comes on little cat feet. As you all know, fog का literal meaning कोहरा या धुंध होता है. जब विंटर्स में वेदर वाइट स्मोकी सा हो जाता है और हर चीज धुएं में ब्लर दिखती है, so it is a thick cloud of tiny water droplets present in the atmosphere, especially in winter. The fog comes on a little cat feet. The first 2 lines of the poem just simply describes how a fog comes in. Usually, fogs are seen in cold areas or in mountains or forests. So, in these lines, the silent approach of fog is depicted. It appears and creeps like a cat. पोएट कार्ल सैनबर्ग ने कंपेयर किया है फॉग को एक कैट से. जिस तरह एक बिल्ली बहुत ही दबे पांव स्लोली एंड साइलेंटली आपके घर आ जाती है और आपको कुछ पता भी नहीं चलता. उसके चलने की आवाज सुनाई नहीं देती. देयर इज नो साउंड विदाउट इवन मेकिंग अस रियलाइज शी इज ऑल देयर. यू आर नॉट इवन नोटिसिंग इट. इन द सेम वे, उसी तरह ठंड के टाइम पर फॉग भी ऐसे ही एंटर होता है जैसे एक कैट कहीं भी एंटर कर जाती है, साइलेंट एंड स्लोली. सो द फॉग इज सिमिलर टू अ कैट दैट एंटर्स आवर होम साइलेंटली in an unpredictable manner. Then in the next stanza, it sits looking over the harbor and city. Be very aware that here the word it is being used for the fog, not for the cat. So the fog looks like as if it is looking over harbor and city. Harbor means जहाँ से ships and boats land होती है, जहाँ पे उनकी journey begin होती है और फिर वहीं वापस रख दिया जाता है. एक पोर्ट या जिसे बंदरगाह कहते हैं. So it is a sheltered body of water where ships, boats or barges can be docked or landed. It sits looking over the harbor and city. The narrator further develops the comparison between cat and fog. In this stanza, the fog has arrived above the city where it sits looking over harbor and city, much as a cat does when it arrives at its destination, on silent haunches, and then moves on. Here the poet describes how fog sits looking over the city. The poet characterizes the fog as a living creature. यहाँ पोएट ने फॉग को एक नेचुरल फिनोमेना नहीं बल्कि एक लिविंग क्रिएचर कहा है, जो कैट के जैसे छोटे पैरों से स्लोली चलकर बिना आवाज के किसी सिटी या हार्बर में अपने हॉन्चेस पर बैठ जाता है. हॉन्चेस का मतलब एक पोस्चर या पोजीशन से है, अपने पैरों को फोल्ड करके बैठना. हॉन्चेस लिटरल मीनिंग इज बैक लेग एरिया ऑफ एन एनिमल. फॉग हर जगह को कवर कर देता है और ऐसा लगता है जैसे वो अपने पैरों को फोल्ड करके एक कैट की पोजीशन में ठहर के बैठा हो और अपनी सराउंडिंग्स को ऑब्जर्व करता हो और चुपचाप वहां से चला जाता हो. सो हियर इन दिस पोएम, Carl Sandburg has described the appearance and disappearance of fog with poetic beauty. Fog approaches swiftly and suddenly like a cat without letting others to aware of its presence. It sits in all the places like the harbor and the city to look at everything. He has described the process of arrival of the fog into the city and the harbor. He has beautifully compared it to a cat. Just as a cat comes on its silent feet without making any noise, so comes the fog and sits looking over the land and the sea. and then leaves the place after some time silently without being noticed by anyone. Now let us discuss the poetic devices that has been used in the poem. First is metaphor. In the line, on little cat feet, fog is compared to cat. Second is personification. Fog has been personified in fog comes and it sits, then encampment. When the sentence is continuing in many lines and there is no punctuation mark at the end, and as it is a short poem 6 lines long, split into 2 stanzas, it is a free verse poem having no regular rhyme scheme. So this is the poem Fog. Let us summarize it once again. The fog comes on little cat feet. It sits looking over the harbour and city on silent haunches and then moves on. The fog, which is generally seen during the winter season, is coming towards the city and the harbour, just like a cat. This means that it is approaching the city in a very silent manner so that no one can notice its arrival. He has compared this arrival to that of a cat because a cat always enters a place silently. Next he says that the fog has covered the whole of the city and harbour. It appears as if it is sitting by folding its leg and looking around, just as the way a cat does when it sits on the haunches and looks around. At the end, he describes the departure of the fog, which very silently and unpredictably, again similar to the departure of the cat, vanishes. So here we only have to know is fog को कैट से कंपेयर किया है. जैसे कैट का अराइवल बहुत ही स्लोली होता है, इन द सेम वे फॉग का भी होता है. जिस तरह कैट एक जगह बैठ जाती है एंड शी कीप्स लुकिंग अराउंड, उसी तरह फॉग भी ऐसा लगता है एक कैट की तरह बैठा हुआ है अपने नीज बेंड करके. एंड देन लास्ट थिंग इज फॉग का अराइवल एंड डिपार्चर दोनों ही कैट से मैच करता है. व्हेन इट अराइव्स एंड व्हेन इट मूव्स अवे इज वेरी साइलेंट. So with this we come to an end of our topic, which is the poem Fog by Carl Sandburg. Please do like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel for the next video. Thank you.